Hello, hello, everyone. It's Debbie Chen. Happy Sunday evening. I'm here with Only the Essentials for You, where we talk about what's the most important because we don't have time for fluff and stuff, right? Just the essentials, the most important things in life. And we talk about healing emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, and how to keep growing, especially after the age of 40. So, how are y'all doing? Hopefully, you're having a good evening, getting ready for the week. Comment below if you've looking forward to some good things this week versus I don't have to go back to work or whatever. But this is a community. This is where we share again about the essentials and want to start. Hey, Shelly, good to see you. And want to have a conversation because it's not just about me talking, but that we're creating this community of helping each other heal and grow and create. And that kind of brings us to the topic today. And by the way, if you hear little sounds, my dogs are, of course, just like little toddlers. Yes, kids can be grown, but if you have dogs, it's just like having toddlers. So right now they're wrestling underneath the table, and those are the little sounds you're hearing. Yeah. So that actually brings me to my first point. That does anybody feel like you kind of reach this certain age where not every battle is worth fighting? That certain things at this point, like in this age, it's like, you know what? I don't need to fight every battle. You're like you always say, choose your battles wisely. Yeah, I think there was a point in time where it was like, I'm going down with the ship. Anyone else agree? Yeah, well, that led to a lot of stomach aches, right? Ugh, yeah. So I think that's one of the things that we come to. Hey, Vicky! Oh my goodness, good to see you. That we come to that point where it's just, you know what? It's just not worth it. There's certain things like I think when my with my kids is let me know if any of you guys agree. Comment below. Say yes. That there's just certain things at this point where it's just not an essential. Um, since we talked about essentials, right? When it comes to the choices that our kids make, we might not like it, but I figure as long as their physical well-being is not put into danger, their spiritual well-being and so forth, then I just kind of have to, you know. And so that's one of the big things. And kind of with that same thing, talking about big things, the opposite is about little things actually being more important, right? Anybody agree? Like just those little moments we have with our kids, our spouse, our special friends that has taken on even more of an importance, right? And kind of what we were talking about the other day, and what we're going to definitely be talking more about as we kind of progress here and grow together about having more room for those things that are important, like our family and our friends. Anybody love just hanging with friends and family, having some coffee together? Man, those are the memories, right? That we want to just stick in our minds. I could care less about the stuff. Probably I could even care less about the meal that I have, though I am somewhat of a foodie. But anyone else? But it's definitely those little sweet memories, just those little moments. So we were talking about like battles that just really we don't need to fight as much anymore, right? We're choosing our battles. How the little things are a little more important, and especially in the day to day, just finding those little nuggets. And actually, along with that, does anybody else get that point where I don't think like you're driving or you're just going throughout the day and you're fine, nothing's stressing you out, but you find your shoulders up like this? Yeah, and I caught that the other day, and I was just driving, and I wasn't stressed. I'm like, holy cow! This is another important thing about we need to remember to breathe, right? Just take a deep cleansing breath, maybe two or three if you need a little extra help and support. And it does so many amazing good things emotionally, physically, mentally, and then especially if there's no really good reason, it just our whole body can relax and we can think better and get that oxygen in. Two, actually, that's kind of getting to the third point I wanted to make about we're also at that age over 40 where do you guys find that it's really important that we are being more preventative in our health, whether that is getting up and walking some more, a little, taking those first steps literally to walking more, swimming, whatever your preference is. A big thing, this is something that we kind of talked about and we're going to talk more about, is healing our gut. And I know Vicky makes some like awesome pickles and all pickled goodness. And those are so good for our gut. And fermented things, just really taking that mindset of being more preventative, because now we seem to have more time, or I'll say a different type of time. Does anyone else still seem kind of amazingly busy? For some reason, even though now, like, I know, Shelly, like, you have grandkids and things, like, man, it's like, wait a minute, I'm supposed to have a little more time. But another thing that's super important is, kind of along with that, not fighting every battle, is being more flexible. And it was really interesting because I'll just share a little thing that, kind of at the beginning of the year, I was muscle testing for the oils that I needed for just my emotional healing and all that good stuff. And it came up the blend of oils that are very helpful with being flexible, kind of going with the flow, more adaptable to change. Nothing woohoo, woohoo, out of there. It actually just really helps your brain and your emotions to work together and not to be, overboard and so forth. So I apply that over my belly button area and morning and night. And I just speak truth and just say, you know what, I'm adaptable, I'm flexible, I go with the change. And that is, since January, there have been a lot of big changes. A son graduating, getting engaged, and getting married in 2 weeks. That's just one of the changes. And that has really helped, because is anyone else, like, do you guys feel like this is a big, kind of, we're in that decade or so of lots of changes going on? Is that easy, or are you guys good? Or comment below too. Like, are there certain changes that you found to be more difficult than others? Or if there have been some great tips or helpful things you can just share with everyone about how to help with change. But definitely taking those deep breaths sure helps. Using some oils. Definitely, I work with my clients on this all the time for all different issues. And I just found that not only helpful for them, but helpful for me too, using the oils for that. But lastly too, I think, like, especially, like, I'm over 50, and I don't know about you guys, but do you feel like now you're coming into your own, right? And this is our wonderful opportunity really to be creating even more of the life maybe we've been dreaming to do, whether it's maybe going back to school, getting a degree. I have friends that have taken on new hobbies that they never thought they could do, like flamenco dancing, which I think is awesome. So a couple questions, just really, just to consider this during your prayer time or just quiet meditation time, whatever. Like, what are the things that, hey, Marsha, good to see you. What are the things that you dream of? And maybe you put them on the side, on the back burner. And maybe you thought, sorry, I'm having wacky hair here. Maybe there's things like you thought you never could do or never wanted to. Well, you wanted to do, but never thought you could. Or like, do you have a plan for that? Because really, anything that's really in your heart that you want to do, you can do it. You just need to set a plan for it. And if finances are a barrier, then there's a plan for that. There's a way to do that. Because I really feel like, anyone agree that, like, those little seeds, those little dreams, those passions, those pursuits, maybe it's working full-time for a nonprofit or being more involved in charities. In fact, would you guys like it? I have a friend of mine who's really involved in charitable organizations, supporting them. I think she would just be a great wealth of resources and knowledge if any of you are interested in getting more involved in nonprofits and charitable work and so forth. And so basically, yeah, what do you dream of? Because I don't think those dreams were put in your heart by mistake. Is that kind of a sobering thought? Yeah. So what's your plan? What's your plan? So comment below too if there are thoughts or just want to air out something, or if you just want to share something with a group, or sometimes too, once you actually verbalize something or verbalize an idea about maybe you want to climb Mount Everest. I think that's awesome, and it's very possible. Some people don't even start doing physical activity until they're after their 70s. So all things are possible, right? Anyway, those were my thoughts for tonight. I'm so glad you guys joined in, and I'm so happy those of you that are coming in on the replay. Please, still, if you're not catching this live, we'd love to have the comments, love to keep a conversation going, because that's really the whole purpose that we're here. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. We're here supporting each other. So have a good evening, and I will see you all tomorrow night, same time, same bat channel, 9 o'clock. All right, love you guys. Bye.